Okay, so we are in section 3 here. This hopefully is a little shorter one, but kind of sets us up for what we're about to look at. So in Revelation, uh, this is the day we're looking at here, October 8th. So we've dealt with September 23rd, and we're about to start with the countdown beginning. And this is where the countdown begins, and this is how we find it out. October 8th, it is dealing with Revelation 12 and Revelation 12:6 and 14. So basically, in Revelation 12:3 here, it says, and appeared another wonder. Let me bring that opacity down. In heaven. And behold, a great dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So we're going to look at this, what could this be in the heaven? What is the great red dragon in the heaven? Obviously, it's Dracos. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and what is this? And we're going to look at that. But this is really our cue to cement this. This is to do with the 7 crowns upon his head, and we saw that in the earlier parts. Let's just quickly take a look at that since we're here. We go to 10:8, and so bring up Dracos. There's the Draco constellation. Oh, look at our Draconid shower happening there as well. Right there, we can see the Draconid shower. It's at its peak here on the 8th, and you can kind of look that up on your own. That the Draconid shower peaks on the 8th here. Suffice to say, what I was trying to show you is there's right above it is right over here the Corona Borealis. That's the 7-starred 7-crown star, 7 crowns upon his head. And so we know which is the right constellation there. So we know which constellation we're talking about. Okay, no biggie. So we got our day count now. This is the other wonder. And this has to do with the casting of, well, let me pull it up here. Just so we go to Revelation 12. Viewing the chapter. It's a big section here. If I read 12. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and it did cast them to the earth, and the dragon stood before the woman, which is ready to be delivered. So he casts a third part of the stars of heaven. And so what is this third part of this? This is the third that Satan will be taking at the end. This is the fall of, a third of the stars. Apparently, when God's talking to Abraham, he says, you will have as many people as, there are stars in the heavens. And the problem is that he's going to lose a third, basically, It's just like in the beginning of time, as it was in the beginning, as at the end. It's kind of deep and profound. I don't get too deep or lost into that. But suffice to say, just double checking that I'm still recording. And so this has to do with the casting of the stars, and this has to do with the Draconid shower. From that Dracos constellation, as we see from the beginning, this is the Dracos constellation. Here is the stars being cast down to the earth. In 12:6, this is an important line. As we get further down that passage, he gives us And then a woman fled into the wilderness where she has a place prepared for God, and she's there for 1,203 score days, which really means 1,260 days. We just don't talk in this old English format, but that's what it ends up. That's not even a contentious thing. 1,260 days. And you'll see how important that is, because later on he tells you 1,260 days is the time period, but he reiterates that time period just a few sentences again, and tells us it's that period where she's being nourished is for times, and half a times. And that is old school for 3.5 years. So when we do a little math here, this is the tribulation start, because we got the countdown from this point on is this sign. And so here we got the tribulation beginning, and it's 1,260 days, 3.5 years. Why is that key? Well, we're going to learn about that, because this has to do with a very strange calendar, because when you divide 3.5 into 1260, you will get 360. And so we are gonna, in part 4, take a look at this little mighty section here. The calendars. There are 2. All right. See you in part 4.